and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about probably what was the highlight of uh of SummerSlam. Let me
The
the
Fiend.
Fiend. Yeah, I just want to see if we were on the
Yeah.
same page,
Oh, I
man.
know.
I'm getting you like Goose, man. I gotta treat you like Goose, man. I gotta make sure that we in sync. You know what I'm saying?
Wrestling is made of
That's
moments, and
right.
that was a
Yeah.
moment. More than any other match, this is the thing people were talking about after the show was
Yeah.
over.
Still talking about today, man. I mean,
Oh yeah,
they just dropped the single that everybody's been asking for since Sunday, and they did.
so good.
Yes. Oh my God! Like this, they redid it like 3 times before they released the master on uh, on all the platforms, Spotify, Amazon, iClouds, and everything like that.
There was a controversy. It was because of the headlamp. It was like they released the theme on
Hmm.
YouTube, and they had shots from from the
Yeah.
headlamp, and it was like then they took it down and re-uploaded it without it, and it was like, oh no, he's gonna stop using it and stuff, and then he wasn't on Raw at all.
Yeah.
So, which is
Smart
smart
booking.
move. To,
Smart. We'll talk about that. Well, that's definitely
yeah,
smart booking there, man.
but that was one of one of the most awesome things I've ever seen. And I'm not like into scary stuff or really gory stuff, but that was like so it made sense as well. It was like that's not Bray Wyatt at all
Yeah.
under the mask. That's the Fiend. So he's something that's inside Bray Wyatt's head. So of course he's carrying Bray Wyatt's head.
Yeah.
So it made total
Made
sense to
perfect
me.
sense.
And it was the one thing that I thought it was really weird was the neck snap during the match. There was like, that's a neck snap that kills people. Don't do that. So like, yeah, don't try this at home and all that, but like, don't even give people the idea that you can use the neck snap in a wrestling
Yeah,
match.
I don't
It's that,
I don't think we'll see that again. But I
yeah.
did like that, man. And Goose wanted me to ask you because Goose is up here in the chat. Would you be
Yep.
interested in Bray holding his opponent's heads after he defeats them?
Yes, and after he defeats them, like in the Firefly Funhouse, they're there as
Oh
puppets.
man, that is good, man. That I like that. I like that book in there. So one of my I'm a very psychological kind of guy. So I dissected this thing from beginning to end, man. Um, and one of the things that I love this whole thing. Like at first, it felt like it was a movie. Like it didn't feel like a wrestling match at all. From the moment,
Yeah.
from the very moment, like it went full screen. Firefly Funhouse, the music started playing, and then like the movie reel just kind of like old school burnt out, and then it went into "Let Me In," and he just comes out during the ring. You see a glimpse of the lamp, and you like, is it the lamp? And then the full reveal is like, oh, it's his head. Like I have just polymorphed into this entity. There's no longer Bray Wyatt in there, and then we get in the ring in the match, and something that I noticed that a lot of other podcasters and even wrestlers who have podcasts didn't even pick up is like I love the fact that he sociologically like has like a split in his mind while he wrestles. Like
Yeah.
he struggles. Like you see Fiend taking over, and then all of a sudden you see like you see the you see Bray resurgences of Bray Wyatt and like doing the Sister Abigail and doing the kiss, and then almost like getting beaten by because of that weakness that he had of Bray Wyatt. He sees the Fiend sees Bray Wyatt as a weakness and almost getting pinned and almost losing his match to Finn Balor, and then he just struggles in his head in the mid match like heel hurt, like what am I supposed to do, what am I love that, man. Like those little details right there is just, it's amazing, man. I just, oh
Yeah.
man.
There's so much to unpack, and there's so much you can do with that whole hurt heel dynamic with his hands and his gloves. Like you can have sort of face Bray Wyatt on Raw doing Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse Bray
Mm-hmm.
Wyatt, and he's listening to his heel hand. So he's helping out people after beatdowns and stuff. And like in matches, he's like he's wrestling, but he's like, "Dude, are you okay? You good?" And then you can switch in an instant, and he starts listening to his hurt hand, and he goes vicious. And you can it, people will be like, how do I feel? Like I know what I'm watching, but like, and when you and that's why WWE can do this, and it's a gimmick that wouldn't work like on an indie level probably because production, like you can really zoom in on the hands and see the hurt and heal, and like you can really show the people at home like oh he's listening to his hurt hands, so it's like shit's about to go down,
Yeah.
like he's gonna beat this guy's ass. So there's a lot you can do with it. So that's a sign that the gimmick is good. Is like there's a lot you can do with it, and when the gimmick is good, is when you can integrate it into a universe, and you're interested to see how it interacts with other
Right.
gimmicks and other people. So I want to see this guy interact with the whole roster. Like I want to see him come across our truth. I want to see him come face to face with Seth Rollins. I want to see him come face to face with Brock Lesnar. I don't want the match. I just want to see an interaction between Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar.
So
How would that work?
so let me ask, like, I don't know what the heel is, like, because he hasn't fully listened to the heel part of his hand, and I'm wondering if he shows up and then he puts his hand, like, when was it he did that? I think it was I think it was against Mick Foley where he had put his hands together. Or no, it was Kurt Angle. He had put his hands together when he appeared in the ring and then dropped the heel. So I'm wondering if he drops the. I'm sorry, he dropped the hurt, or he dropped the heel and had the hurt. I wonder if he does the inverse and comes in the ring, does the inverse, says heel, and then he just disappears instead of attacking. Like, do you? I'm curious of what that heel aspect is going to do. Like, what kind of interaction are we gonna have from there?
Yeah, 'cause we still haven't seen that, so it can be just that. He can just like listen to it and go, well, I'm not doing anything. It just leaves. Or he can like actually help the guy. But at the same time, like he can do that. Like he listens to heel and like, yeah, he picks him up. And then right after he listens to Hurt, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna drop this dude right here. Bam. Like it's instant. Like you can really play with it and do a lot with it. Like in the same segment, it could change two or three times, and like you're on the edge of your seat, like what's happening, and you can see these shifts, like, and it just needs to be really well, like the producer needs to really be on the spot with this, and cameraman like, need to be well positioned, like to catch the subtle things, which are subtle. You don't need to beat people in the over the head with it. You just need to show it in the right way.
Right.
Doesn't need to be like a light change or something. Just film it right. The people will get it. And when people start to understand that dynamic, they'll be interested to see him with other people, see him interact with people, and see him in matches. Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse host, in a match is still something I want to see, and I don't know how that would work.
Yeah. So, and we actually, Mike's coming a little hot here, so let me bring it down a little there. Um, so Goose and I had speculated a while back, like before Bray even, like I think it was just like back in March or April, right when they started doing the Funhouse thing, that and they introduced the Fiend. Like we, at first our thing was like we want to see him. We want to see Bray as the mouthpiece and the Fiend as the enforcer, the one who actually does the physicality in the match. But this weekend, after we had saw Bray Wyatt, Goose was saying, wouldn't it be cool? And it kind of sounds like where you're alluding to as well. Wouldn't it be cool if Bray does get into a match, and then maybe he loses, like gets like completely demolished and loses just to show how frail and weak he is, and then the Fiend comes back and just like decimates that person, that the person the following week. Um, I I don't know. I think that's an interesting concept, but there's just so much you can do with him, right?
To me, the Fiend needs to be like the nuclear option.
Yeah,
Like, not the last resort, but like when Bray is like, I'm done playing, that's when he pulls it out.
he
Just
pulls it
like
out. Finn.
Balor does with the demon. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, with the exception of I want to see the Fiend on more pay-per-view matches than how the Demon comes out only once out of one of the four pay-per-views, one of the big four pay-per-views.
Yeah.
That's what I would rather see, because I don't I get why they don't do the Demon at every single one, and it's mainly because it costs so much money to put him in makeup and all that other stuff. But this is a focal point of Bray's character, his involvement in his character. So I think that you need to see more of the Fiend on pay-per-view matches. Not every single one of them, right? Maybe maybe skip one, every other one, or something
Yeah.
like that, or alternate him and Bray or something like that. But yeah, man, I agree. You got to protect the Fiend at this point. You got to protect the Fiend. And going into Monday Night Raw, it was a little bit of a disappointment that we didn't see him, but it was also smart booking that we didn't see him on Raw or SmackDown as well. I think that you need to protect him and not oversaturate people's need to want, like, not to appease people's want to see him every single, like, you want to have people yearning for more. And I think that that's what they're doing with having him off TV.
Because you didn't see him, but they mentioned him.
Yep.
Like, so you keep that fresh in people's minds. So they'll be like, "Oh, he wasn't on this week. They were talking about him, and we haven't stopped talking about him since it happened." So next week, I'm pretty sure there'll be a Firefly Funhouse, and it'll be shown on Raw, and then it will be shown again on SmackDown.
Yep.
And I hope there's gonna be a puppet Finn Balor, and he's gonna be like, oh, I thought
love
I
that.
could mess with the Fiend.
I love that idea.
Uh,
I love it.
I mean, it's just because to me, and what we've seen is the Firefly Funhouse is like Bray's mind.
Yeah.
So in his mind, it makes complete sense that Finn Balor would show up and be like, "Yeah, I just want to apologize to you because I thought I could mess with the Fiend, and I couldn't, and I got screwed up." So yeah, and then like some wacky stuff happens, and like the rabbit like stabs him or something, like because
The rabbit's weak, bro. The rabbit's weak, bro.
like that's the sort of thing that can happen in that environment.
Yeah.
So, and again, that aspect of the gimmick as well is just so fresh and so it's limitless.
Yeah.
As there's a lot you can do with that. So, and we've just seen a glimpse with Finn Balor, which is like an ideal opponent because everyone now wants to see the Fiend versus the Demon, and of course they weren't going to give us that on SummerSlam. That's a Rumble match or a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. So everyone wants to see that, but this guy needs to have another feud because Finn is off on vacation now.
Yeah.
So who's it gonna be?
That's a good question, and the great answer is we don't know, and we shouldn't know. Like, we should be continuing to guess by him attacking just random people out of nowhere. I will tell you this: I don't want him anywhere near Finn Balor or Aleister Black until we get to Royal Rumble. Period. Once we're in the hunt for WrestleMania, if you decide to tangle with one of those two guys, it needs to be then. But until then, like, we just need to kind of stay away from there.